boy!
And now,
Laugh all you want. I'm the one who's gonna be on TV.
from TTR Studios,
I can't quite remember how that one goes. I gotta admit, I'm a little high.
No, Biggie, I'm cool.
it's Lucdogg in the morning.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Skater D.
Hey, I'm John Charles Meyer, producer of Dave Made a Maze.
Hey, what's up? This is Scott Ladotti, author of Play the Devil, and you are listening to Lucdogg.
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 This is Andy fucking Cruz from SiriusXM 415, and you're listening to Lucdogg in the morning.
Number one podcast in the world. Yeah, boy.
Welcome back, folks. It is Lucdogg in the morning. We are jacked up. It's going to be one hell of a day because your boy's pissed off. Let's go! So welcome to the show, my wonderful friends. How are we feeling on a fantastic Friday? I know you're having a great day, but you know what? My car is missing. So that's going to be the theme of today's show. Matty Potts from the Santa Monica newsroom. Good morning. My cousin, my brother from another mother. How are you, sir?
Greetings and salutations. What's going on?
Dude, I'm pumped, but I'm pissed. Belly, you saw this. I'm really mad. Belly Matt LaBelle in studio. What's up, dude?
What's going on, sir? Good
Dude,
to be here as always.
This is brutal. My car, I literally go out to the parking lot and it's gone.
Yeah, that's lost in space.
That's fun. So we'll get to that. Of course, we've got a bunch of guests joining us today, so that's pretty cool. We've got Felicity Heath, the Aussie. She is the voicing of a lot of the stuff that we do when you hear her say, awkward transition. That's Felicity, and she'll be joining us here in the second segment. Belly, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome.
You weren't here last time.
What are we
going to
talk about with her?
What are we going to talk about with her? Potts, do you have an idea of something to talk about? Because I got a few things for her.
I do. I'm curious to see what her take is on yesterday was International Women's Day, and I'm just curious to see
Working Women's Day, yeah.
I mean, I know people take it seriously, but do you really think having an International Women's Made-Up holiday is doing anything to actually help women's rights? And so
I do want to we're going to go there. Okay, that's interesting.
Well, I would hope that on this day that a lot of women donated to a lot of great causes that women are all for.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I actually think they just posted something on Facebook, and that was pretty much about it. So
well, Potts,
I get so pissed off.
No, because you and I actually, when I went out to visit you a year ago, it was the same time when the Women's March was happening, and both of us, I hope I don't put you out there, but I have a feeling you're going to be okay with me saying this. Both of us had the same reaction, which was, wow, this is amazing. What the hell is this going to do?
Sure.
And right. I'd love to talk to her about that.
And I think, when there was the Million Man March, obviously that's a lot of, but there's certain marches that are effective because it's just a matter of getting people together.
Sure.
I think sometimes you just want to march with like-minded people and stand for something.
However,
and
you and I, it is very cool. We weren't against it, but I think you and I both had the initial thought of, we have half of the people on this planet, the entire female gender almost at this point, is all out in every major city of the planet, speaking against something that they feel they've been oppressed, and this is amazing. But what is it actually going to do? What if we took this amount of effort and put it towards an actual action, towards charities, women's rights charities? That would have been, in our eyes, a little bit more, I feel long-lasting. Even though the spectacle of half the planet stopping and saying, excuse me, not anymore, that was awesome. That was cool.
And look, on a completely side note, and it's totally side note, but what's funny is a lot of these marches, they leave behind so much trash and garbage.
I know.
That's
true.
All they're actually doing is marching, destroying the planet, and then leaving. And I mean, I think my thing is look, if you're marching to change something, to for a cause, how many of all those people marching are attorneys or are people that can actually do something on the back end as opposed to just marching? Why don't we take all of these people with their experience and whatever their trade is and actually change something?
And Belly, remember, this is a comedy show, so we're not going to be sitting here politically, harping on women's rights the entire time. I just want to have that discussion because I think Felicity's a great person to have that with, and she can put a very good spin on it. Now, I had a text coming in from the listeners from last show.
And I will like to point out that I have Googled some information on this, and it does seem like some companies do, as part of their sales, will donate on National Women's Day,
That's
especially to beauty brand, especially to geared women products like beauty, health, things like that.
That's fantastic.
That people can buy, and part of that sale on that day goes.
Because National Women's Day isn't about women being pretty, it's about women empowerment. So I don't know, donating to makeup and stuff is like kind of actually counterproductive.
So we'll do all this. Let's do all this with Felicity. I don't want to drown the show in it.
Yeah.
Apparently I have ADD, but also that's found out this week. Potts, would you agree there?
I think you have something deeper than ADD. But I mean, I think we're in the right track.
What?
That was I thought he knew.
No, that was a running theme. We had a visitor in town this week for the Voice of One Wheel, and of course she was on last week's show for Lucdogg in the morning. Amanda Thompson. Last Wednesday show. Wow, it feels like it was
like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that was 2 days ago. I had a blast with her. Theme of the week. Adam has ADD.
Yeah,
can we ask? Was there any romance involved in this?
Well, no. This was more of a just getting like we just got to know each other. And
so could there be romance down the line?
Oh, you never know. You got two single attractive people. That's all that is.
It's cool.
But definitely noticing my traits, and she realizes that I don't close cabinet doors.
Oh yeah, he leaves all of the cabinets in the kitchen
wide
open all the time.
And this has been pointed out to me by my previous roommate, and I try to get better at it. So is this something that you've noticed before we even had this discussion?
Yeah, I've noticed.
All right, so this is something that even when I try, I can't fix.
Do you forget, or do you just have
I open the cabinet,
and then he's done
I grab
with
the mug, and I'm already on to the next thing.
He's
it's
on
over.
the coffee. He doesn't close the door.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's not even. I mean, obviously, yeah, that's not like a lazy thing. That's like some sort of OCD.
It's subconscious, dude. I don't think about it.
Opposite of OCD.
Yeah, and then I'll look like my previous roommate would be like, this is Sansing. He was also the OG guest of or co-host of the show. He'd be like, Lucio, just look at the kitchen right now. I want you to just look at it, because when I come out at night and it's dark, that's what I'm banging my head on.
The coffee one's in one of the worst spots too, right over the sink.
Yeah, so I guess that's a little trait. If anybody has a trait that you do that you didn't notice but somebody's pointed out to you, that would be very funny to get to. 571-354-7338. One more time, 571-354-7338. Call or text right now. We would love to have that participation. Potts?
Yeah, no, I have a couple OCD things that have been called out on. One, I shake my leg nonstop. Even when I'm standing up, when I'm sitting down, I'm always shaking my leg. Two, I have this weird thing where I don't finish stuff. Like I'll leave one sip left or one bite left, and it's a total.
That must be in your blood.
OCD.
No, I don't think it's OCD. I do it for the same reason, but I think with drinks, because with drinks, I feel like all of the worst parts of the bites or the drink, it's all at the end.
No.
Like it's like backwash.
No,
dude, I'll eat something.
Don't spit in your drink.
I don't even think it's not it for me. That's not it. Like when you guys drop something on like if you're making a bagel, you drop it on the kitchen floor and you pick it up real quick. Will you eat it or not?
Of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. Okay. But I am weird about like a bar. If I go to Belly's Bar, not Belly's Bar, because Belly's Bar is pristine. But if I go to a bar, any just random bar, and they put my silverware on the bar and not on the napkin, I need new silverware.
Oh, yeah, see, I don't care.
Really?
That's disgusting.
I don't care about that.
That is disgusting. You know how many gross ass... And you're going to tell me you wiped it down with a rag that's been sitting there?
You had a gross restaurant experience recently.
Oh,
so.
Well, before we do that, Texter writes in from last show, wasn't able to listen to the show, but I'm listening now. I was alone on an elevator and farted, and then somebody walked into it. Too funny.
Yeah, see, that's my worst nightmare.
So that was what we were discussing last show. We'll do women's rights this show. So that's about the range of what you can expect on Lucdogg in the morning. We hit you with everything. It's a variety show. It's a comedy show.
From farts to women's rights. I mean, we pretty much do it all. So
should be our tagline.
And then the last thing, I do have this other weird thing where I have a tendency to buy stuff like clothes, and a lot of times I won't wear it. Like I like to have one or two articles of clothing that still have the tags on it. I still have T-shirts that are in the plastic bags.
That's
and I just
weird.
don't open them. I
That's
have no
weird.
idea. It's I've had shoes. I just put on a pair of shoes, these like CrossFit cross training shoes that I had for a year, in the box.
Wow.
And I finally just opened them because I'm like, this is crazy. It's so weird. I don't even know.
So I'm fairly certain at this point you only wear marinate shirts.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
Well, now, yeah. I mean, now it's. And that's kind of been my MO. Honestly, my whole life is where, I mean, I have T-shirts that I've had for 10 plus years, and I wear the same T-shirts. I have 2 pairs of jeans that are literally like disintegrating because I just wear them every day.
Restaurant. It's a
And
unique
What
twist.
are you doing? Oh, you're just right.
Dude, we want to send people out there. Get to Marinate Restaurant. We'll play this again during the break. You know our ad. It's like the only commercial that we have.
I told someone at the bar about it last night who was from LA.
Good. Go out and see him at the corner of Western and
Melrose.
Melrose. There
So
it
I
is.
dropped the show, and then I'm like, oh, so you're from Los Angeles. Well, there's this great fast casual dining restaurant on Melrose. And
The
West,
pictures he
whatever it
puts
is.
on Instagram. I don't know if it's a filter you use, but they look goddamn delicious.
I was just gonna say and thank you for pointing that out. We literally Scott's girlfriend, my business partner Scott, his girlfriend does our page, and we've been kind of like we've really kind of revamped it, and the pictures, we've stepped up our picture game. We're gonna do it a lot more consistent. We're putting a lot more focus.
You gotta put food porn out there.
Food porn. It looks like food porn. It is that like whoa, look at that.
A friend of mine's a publicist in New York, and I was talking to her, and she literally pulled up our page, and she was like, dude, you need to, she's like, delete half your pictures and redo it. She's like, look at like the food porn. She goes, people, all they want to see are pictures of over-the-top food.
Right.
They don't care about what you look like or your selfie wall or what your menu board looks like. They don't care. All they want to see are pictures of food.
Is that true if you're looking at a restaurant? Because I gotta be honest with you. I get emails every now and then. My Google photos are up to like over 10,000 views. People look at the photos because I'm always at these weddings, and I always get a notification from Google. It's genius, and it's like, hey, help us out, take a picture, and so I will. And I mean, restaurants and stuff like, I mean, these people out there. I'm curious what you think. Like, would you only want to see pictures of his menu food? Or do you want to see the fact that he's got a selfie wall that you can do when you get there? You want to see the atmosphere of what you're going to be sitting in when you sit there and hang out and eat a meal? Like, for me, I want that.
I'm not sure how much it is about creating business as it is, for me, Instagram creating buzz. Like, we want to, for Instagram, we're just trying to get, like 10,000 plus followers, a bunch of really dope pictures on our profile, and then to create a buzz. I mean, look, how many say we have 10,000 followers, how many live within a 2-mile radius of my store? Probably not many. I mean, but so it's more about just creating a broader awareness.
So what do you think about, as I just realized, kind of like a correlation, like if any business owners out there or anybody who runs a social media page, we were talking about how this show is very, very wide and broad. And then as soon as we did something that was a very specific show, it kind of took off way faster with the voice of One Wheel. Potts is talking about having specific and wide and broad scopes on his Instagram of his place. And we're saying, they're saying, no, get specific as fuck. And
get
just
as
show
close
them,
to the food as you can.
Right. So is it if you're doing like a social media effort, be as specific as possible? Is that a good rule to follow?
I think so, and honestly, that's a great question for Felicity because she's a social media manager. She actually just started working with this singer named Sage, and like doing everything for her as far as like pictures, press photos, website design, and management. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously a strategy for it, and they actually they give classes on social media stuff, and in the past shows we've made fun of the social media. What do we call it? The social media manager?
Social media manager.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that is a full-on legit job now. I mean, it's so funny because we did used to make fun of it, but I got to be honest, I could use one. Lucdogg in the Morning could use one. I mean, it's like it's there's a whole strategy and behind it where that it takes a lot of time and a lot of planning. Even the pictures, taking good pictures takes time, So, I mean, every day we're taking more and more pictures. We're building up like a big kind of like arsenal of photos so we can start posting every day. But if you go on our page, Marinate Your Life, you'll see that the pictures have definitely been stepped up.
What is the role of a social media manager? What do they do?
They help like influencers who are have a big following on social media, and they manage their calls and their meetings for the social media influencer.
How much should that position make, do you think, if it's a salaried position?
So the question. I don't know. 60K?
60. Okay. Wow.
Is that
Holy
too
crap.
much?
That's a lot of money.
40 to 50 maybe.
40 to 50.
You know, when you said that, when we did this, that was over a year ago, I think.
Probably.
When you originally did that question, I thought 60K was outrageous.
No.
I don't anymore.
No.
Nah, it should be
Social
double.
media is a thing, and I hate saying social media. I almost want to call it something else because it has a connotation to me. When I hear social media, I just get into my curmudgeon, whatever, Facebook. It's not Facebook, dude. Like Instagram, Snapchat, all that is just that's where everybody talks. Mandy was here, dude. She was showing me. She does a lot of stuff for
Twitter.
like teenagers. Like she does like coffee houses for them to be able to play at. These kids all talk on Snapchat.
They all talk on that's
Group
all they
chats
do.
on
Snapchat's
Snapchat.
huge. Yeah. Yeah. I have people message me on Snapchat, and it's so frustrating because obviously I'm a bit of a stoner with a short-term, memory loss. And if you don't remember, like you'll be in a conversation, and if you respond and then they don't respond for a couple hours, you don't see the thread. So you literally have to remember what you've been talking about because there is no thread.
That is
it
ridiculous.
just disappears.
But that's what I'm
friggin'
saying.
annoying.
I think now, TV is changing. And for us, it was all about getting bigger, getting better graphics. I remember when it was like, this one's 32-bit, dude. It's going to be amazing. And this one's 64-bit. Whoa. Yeah. Remember that? Right? But now, kids couldn't care less about the graphics. They play like fucking Minecraft. It looks like it's, Atari.
Right.
However, they have a blast with it, and they do it on a tiny little screen. They couldn't care less if it was on a TV.
Literally, I just saw a friend of mine that posted his kid was playing Mario Kart on not even a full-size tablet, like one of the half tablets.
Sure.
So
and they don't care.
It's a Nintendo Switch.
They don't care. They watch
maybe
half
that's what it was. I don't even know. Maybe that's what it was. I thought
Nintendo
it was
Switch is pretty sweet.
Nintendo Switch is one where you could basically play your game on a big TV and then pick it up and take it wherever you want by putting it on this smaller screen that is part of the controller.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Pretty
you take
smart,
the tablet
yes.
with you, and these controllers hooked to the tablet on the sides. Anyway,
And then you never stop playing video games ever.
Well, it's just weird because the difference between just 20 years ago. It's just 20 years ago where all we cared about was having better graphics and bigger TVs, and now these kids they don't even watch things like when you say what's your favorite show, they're gonna tell you about something that they like on YouTube. They're gonna tell you about like a YouTuber. Like Amanda, even she's only 28, and she was showing me all this stuff on YouTube, and she was like, "This is like my high school. This is bringing me back to my high school years." And she's watched the Strong Bad Email. It's hilarious. I had never heard about it. I had never seen it. Strong Bad, just a character on YouTube answering emails as a spoof, and it's hilarious. But that's she didn't watch Seinfeld. She didn't watch Friends.
No.
Well, that's a shame.
TV.
I mean,
she's seen them, but that's not TV to them. To kids these days, TV and entertainment is not TV. It's YouTube. It's all on the internet. It's crazy.
Right.
How old do I
it's all
sound
about,
right now?
like just instant gratification
Like
and
1,000-year-old
digesting
man.
things as quickly as possible.
I feel like I sound so old.
And we haven't even talked about
I mean, I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it really it creates all sorts of competition, and it gives people an opportunity to create their own original content. And there's a lot of good, interesting, funny stuff out there. And it makes all of these TV networks, it lights a fire under their ass, because it's like you have to stay current, and you have to stay 2 steps ahead, because otherwise this kid's just going to go on YouTube and not and not watch commercials and not. I mean, it's just I think it's great, and I love it. I mean, that's why I'm all over Instagram. I'm not really into YouTube, but I like Instagram again because it's like
you're on YouTube.
videos.
You're right there on channel TTR Studios every Wednesday and Friday, 10 a.m. Beautiful transition. We got to do a little break here and get a guest on the air, Felicity Heath. I'm excited to talk to her. She's got a really cool accent and an even better personality and perspective. So we're excited. We'll get her on the air, and then we'll be back with you guys in just a few. It's Lucdogg in the morning.
At litmradio.com.
Welcome back, folks. It is Lucdogg in the morning, hanging out with you on a Friday. We've got a guest now on the line. Felicity Heath joins us. Thank you for making the time. Felicity, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
We're wonderful. We are excited to talk to you. Got a whole lot of stuff to do. It's been a while. What have you been up to since we spoke to you last?
What am I doing? I'm working full-time for a pop artist.
Is it Sage? Because I really would like to hear about her. I know you're doing a lot with that, right?
Yeah, she's great. She's available on like Spotify and iTunes and stuff. She's releasing her music video in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, she's 15. She's worked in television for a long time, and now she's moving into the music arena. She's great.
Well, so tell us how you got involved in that, because how do you get it? I mean, is it somebody you knew, or is it just like somebody you saw performing at a coffee shop and you're just like, I need to work with you?
Actually, I built her manager's website. A little side hustle I have is building people's websites. And yeah, I built this chick, Angie. I built her website, and then afterwards she was like, hey, I'm following you on Instagram. You do a lot of great work on social media, and your creative direction is really great. I'm looking for a creative director and social media manager for an artist that I manage. And then, yeah, it all happened really quickly. I negotiated a contract, and then we just started working together.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear how it goes. Good luck with it. And
yeah,
I know Potts has some questions for you, so I'll let him fire away here.
Well, okay. Felicity, I mean, you brought up social media manager. Can you? We talk about this all the time. What the hell is a social media manager? What do you guys do? And more importantly, what is the pay range for a good social media manager?
Well, look, I think there are a lot of people who charge a lot of money and then they outsource their like if you're helping an account gain followers, there are a lot of ways to do that. Some social media managers, the not very good ones, charge you a lot of money for your management and then outsource your follower gains to bots. So they'll take, so you'll pay them like $1,000 a week, and they'll go and buy you 1,000 followers for $7.
Right.
And that's not great,
Can I ask you, Felicity? I don't mean to interrupt, but I know that we've dealt with bots in some way, and is that accepted? And if people don't know what you're talking about, can you explain to them what they are? And is it something that's frowned upon, or is that something that's cool and everybody just does it? Steroids in baseball, basically.
I think there's a lot of different levels of bots. I think if you're buying followers for your account, they're not going to translate to likes, influence, or sales, depending on what your Instagram
Why not?
Whatever social media app you're dealing with. So if you're buying 20,000 followers, but they're not real, you're not going to get the likes on your photos. So it's going to be very obvious that you bought a bunch of followers,
So what is the single most effective way to get authentic followers? And how long should someone really expect to take for like a year to get 10,000 followers, or like what's the time frame for, let's say, 10,000 followers?
It really varies, but I think knowing your market is really important. Having high quality content is really important. Engaging with other accounts that are similar is really important. Engaging in your community. So a lot of influencers you'll see are making content with other influencers so they can cross promote each other. For Sage, we are targeting other musicians that have come up through social media, like Kali Uchis or Dua Lipa, who are like really popping right now, and we're also we're constantly making her content every week. It's part of my job to make content for her. So we're going to Joshua Tree, making content. We're setting up, we're building a set and making content. We're going to different places in LA making content. So people are constantly kind of looking at her in different light. They're loving her aesthetic. It's almost like people get kind of addicted to it. Like they know that you're making content all the time, and they know that more is coming.
So Felicity, we were joking before you came on the air about $60,000 being as like an over-under for a average social media manager salary. And at first, when we heard that about a year ago, we thought that was cray. Like, I thought it was cray. However, now I'm starting to think that's probably a lot. That's probably at least spot on, because if you think about this, the bots that she's talking about, folks, like what they do is they just you kind of set a target for pages that it's going to hit that are kind of relevant to yours, and you set like 5 different little like sayings
responses.
Like this is fire, you're amazing, keep it 100. And
it's so obvious.
It is so obvious, right? And it just fires off all these comments on anything that these pages post, like thousands of pages. And then these people see it and they're like, oh, that's really cool. Thanks so much. And they hopefully follow you back. And that, if it were in man hours, would take a phenomenal amount of time that I think is worth $60,000.
Can I say how used I felt before knowing this fact when I thought all these random people were like being like, hey, great post.
Thanks,
all right,
dude.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, this is awesome. And then I found out they're all fake.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh my God, I just want to kill myself. So, what was I about to ask
we
you?
get into...
So basically what I'm taking out of all of this, and this is kind of the important part of the conversation, it's the most important thing with online marketing is creating as much original, interesting content as possible, whether it be food porn pictures, whether it be like my little things that I do, whether it be like the cool and really interesting pictures that you're taking of Sage, which I've seen. And I mean, like, they're not just headshots. They're like vignettes almost.
Right.
Like she's taking pictures of like scenes.
What's
of
the
stuff.
key? What's the key? I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's such a good. What's the key to creating interesting content? Because that's what everybody wants to do. It sounds so easy, but what is the key to creating something that's gonna hit the main page or catch somebody's eye?
Well, look, I mean, not all ideas are winners. Let's be real. There's a lot of people out there who think they have something and they don't. And
why do I feel like that was a personal attack to me right now? And why do I feel like I'm just being persecuted?
Obviously, you have some underlying issues there, Pot.
You know what?
I do.
Lucy would never do that to you.
His confidence is lacking. You guys should do a podcast together, and we can hear all about it.
Yeah, we're trying.
No, I mean, like, there's a lot of people out there who are creating content that isn't that good, and that can be a variety of different things. Like, maybe they just need to work on their content. Maybe they like there's people that I look at and they're like, I'm a photographer, and I look at their photos and their subjects aren't even centered. Like, you know, just stuff like that. It's like, stop calling yourself a photographer if you don't even know how to center a photo.
Now I have a problem with that. Potts, I know you have a question for her, but this is so relevant to what you said. Now, what about the I know any photographer listening should probably know this. Isn't there a law of thirds where if you have me in a photograph, I don't want to be in the middle? I want to be on one of the third lines. Isn't that right? A little off center?
No.
It depends, but if your foot is out of frame, that's going to really piss me off.
No, that's outrageous. Okay, Potts, take it away. I'm sorry.
It's not about the person being centered in the picture. I think she's talking about just like centered in the context of the frame or whatever.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
not necessarily even just the person, but like whatever I'm looking at needs to be in the photo. If like somebody's hand is off, is like out of shot or some shit, I'm gonna be like, okay, what?
Amateur
Unless
hour.
you know, like obviously your focal point just has to be like centered in the photo. It's like there's a lot of ways to do that, but it's very obvious if you're taking a photo of a person and their foot is out of the photo. That just makes me really angry. But anyway, I think that the trick to creating good content and building a great social media profile is knowing your audience and making sure your content is high quality. I think that social media actually activates a lot of evolutionary traits in us. This is something that I've been reading about a lot lately. If we're more likely to engage with a smiling face than anything else, and I think that's just because, you know, as animals, we feel good at we release endorphins when we see another smiling face.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people that's why selfies are like, you know, the main thing that are on social media, because that's what. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people get addicted to the likes or whatever. Yeah. I just completely. Oh, right. So last thing on this one, I just want to know, how important are hashtags with like your posts?
And then we're gonna change gears after that. But that's a great question. How important are the hashtags?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are really important. I definitely use hashtags. Yeah, I mean, I think they're important. But once you've developed a really great social media following, they become less important because people kind of already see you and they already know who you are. But I definitely.
And then word of mouth takes over, like I assume too. Once you get to a certain point, people just start telling their friends, and people search you out your page on their own or through word of mouth.
So hashtags are basically like the initial boost.
That's
right.
New people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that having the top post option in hashtags on Instagram is really great. And you can follow hashtags now. No, not that anyone's doing that, but if you really want to, you can.
Felicity, tell us where we can find your stuff. Shout out your pages, because I have another question for you, but it's a little bit deeper. So I want to give you a chance to tell us where we can find you and all the stuff that you do.
Okay, my Instagram is @FelicityJane, FelicityJayn. And I pretty much post all of my work there. And then my website for all my freelance creative direction is thepreative.com, PREATIVE.com.
Would you rather have fingers as long as legs or legs as long as fingers?
Hold on, let me think about it. What?
Would you rather have...
literally laying in bed right now. She just woke up.
Would you rather have fingers as long as legs or legs as long as fingers? But they're the appropriate width to what they are. So your fingers are still finger width. They're just leg long.
Legs as long as fingers.
Boom. Now, I have a very interesting question for you. It's deeper than I think that we typically get here on the show, because we don't really get political or even talk a lot of social justice, injustice either way. But we really wanted to get your thoughts on this, because Potts and I kind of had a even response to the Women's Rights March. And I know yesterday was, I think, International Working Women's Day. Is that right?
Yeah.
Just International Women's Day.
International Women's Day, so it wasn't working. Okay, good. Okay, so we wanted to get your thoughts on this, because I know you would have an interesting perspective and an honest one, which we appreciate here. I was out in LA when the Women's Rights March took place about last year. Was it about a year ago? And we just saw, Potts and I said the same thing. We saw like half of the planet stop, get together, and say, no more. And that was awesome. Like, to see that was incredible. To see the power behind a whole half of the planet, literally an entire gender, basically saying, let's unify and speak up. And
I mean, it was half of America. It wasn't the world.
Well, no, but didn't you see it? Like, wasn't it all over? I mean, you were in Australia for a while. Wasn't it like a whole bunch of like main cities? I remember.
Yeah, I thought it was all over the world. I thought there were a lot of other
London had it. I know Australia had it, because Potts was talking like, yeah, go Australia. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was just a lot. I mean, it was a lot smaller in other countries. I mean, it was definitely in retaliation to Donald Trump, which definitely affects the whole world. American politics definitely affect the whole world, but it was definitely a lot more. It was way bigger in American cities, as it should be. I mean, it's in regards to American politics.
So here's the question, absolutely, and the reason that I bring this up is because I want your honest answer. Potts and I responded the same way. Wow, look at this happening. What is this actually going to do? And what if we took this effort and actually put it towards like people who are doing something for this, like a charity for women's rights? Like, is that a stupid way? Is that a ridiculous way of thinking about this, or is that fair to kind of just ask, at least bring up in conversation?
Yeah, I think that's fine too. I think that there's something really special in civilians standing up to their government in the form of a protest or a march. It ensures that the government is paying attention and perhaps instilling better policies for the people. When we have big turnouts like that, there's definitely a lot of critique behind the fact that nobody will show up for, a Black Lives Matter march except for black people. But for the Women's Rights March, a bunch of white people show up and they don't really care about any other issues that affect everyone else. And I think that critique is valid. I think that, if you're standing up to your government for one thing, it should be an inclusive situation. You should be standing up to your government for everything it does. It's shitty.
Right. Go ahead,
so Felicity, when you have these holidays like yesterday's International Women's Day, excuse me, I mean, Is this just a way for a lot of people to not feel guilty? Like they just post something saying, yay, go women, and then they go back on their daily lives. I mean, they're not actually doing anything. They're not actually trying to make a change. And I mean, hey, I'm guilty. I made a whole comedy bit out of it. But my bit that I did yesterday was obviously it was got like people understood. It was literally to make fun of all the people posting shit that aren't doing anything the other 364 days a week. Like, I know that's not you. I mean, you are like straight up girl power, women's rights, 365, 24/7. And well, I respect that. But so when you post something, I look at it. When some dipshit posts something thanking all the strong women, and then literally like their next post is like, hey, I'm at McDonald's eating a Big Mac. It's like, okay, you obviously don't like give a shit. It's really just to make people feel good about themselves. And I mean, I think that's what's frustrating to me is like, yeah, it's International Women's Day. They also have International fucking Taco Day. Like,
China has Boys Day. China has Boys Day. Thank you.
Well, fine, yeah, but it's like, how seriously can you take something like that when it's literally like we just make up steak and steak and blowjob?
All right, hold on.
Let's let her answer because that was a long question.
Pot's getting fired up.
It annoys the shit out of me.
No, I agree with you. It's like, I think that, you know, if you want to celebrate International Women's Day, stop fucking disrespecting women every day of the year.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so easy to like.
Oh, sorry. Whoa. Oh my God. I think just freaked out.
No, the ringmaster really enjoyed that one.
Like, yeah. I mean, Matt, your video was great. It's like, don't worry, guys. Tomorrow you can go back to sexism and unpaid wages, or you know, I think that's hilarious, and it's true. It's like there are so many people, and like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that a lot of people even know that they're doing it. And so it's like hard to hold people accountable because it's like, well, if they've been told this is their appropriate way of acting, you know, celebrating International Women's Day one day and then going back to their employees that they're paying like shitty wages to the next day, it's like, you know, like we all have to learn to do better.
Well, that's Felicity. Yeah. That's my entire question. Did it rub you the wrong way that if we were all to, instead of march and actually put this towards something that could actually last, this would have made more of an impact? Or was it something that, because I don't want to diminish all the people and the women that went out there and marched that day. That's really awesome. It made me think, look what else we could do with that. Is that a bigot like way of thinking? Or I don't think that's wrong. I hope that's not wrong, but I want to ask because maybe I am and I would like to learn if so.
I think marching against your government in any capacity is great. Governments are rarely fair, and I mean, I'm pretty like anti-establishment, so yeah, like, I mean, any march against the government is good in my eyes. But yeah, I mean, people can absolutely do better. Like, there are just so many things that we do that affect women that we don't even think about. Like, if you're buying clothes from Forever 21 or H&M, a poor brown woman made those clothes. And it sucks having to, you know, like, you can go to Forever 21 and buy a whole dress for $15, and that's great, and it's so cheap, and they have cute stuff, but you're supporting, like, sweatshops, and, you know, that is a woman that's a woman-dominated industry, and they are underpaid because they're poor women of color.
So do you think? I'm sorry to. So do you think that? All right, forget it, Belly.
No, you did it already. You're already in there.
Go ahead.
No. Time out. This is a perfect way to say it. If you're not watching on YouTube, can I just say how proud I am of all of us for how we've handled this entire segment with hand signals? Who's asking this? Who's asking next? And then all of a sudden, Potts just fucks it all up.
I totally jumped in. All right, it's Belly's turn.
No. Well, so this has all been a great interview. It's been fantastic. Felicity's been great. This is Belly, by the way.
Hi.
And I have a fun question to kind of end the segment with. So,
Felicity,
Potts, go ahead
you.
and ask your one question because my question is going to be about something you
do.
So,
Potts, take us out of here. Get your question and get us out of here. And Felicity, really, thank you. One more time.
I need her to give tips to Potts to put on that freaking lipstick in that video.
So, all right. So this is the last question. This is the last question on that topic, and then we'll just have fun and get you out of here. Go ahead, Potts.
I'm actually going to change it up, and I think we may have asked you this before, but
we did. Yes, good. Do it.
If you were with a guy and you sent him naughty pictures and then you broke up, would you expect him to delete the pictures, or is it okay if he keeps them for the spank bank, but he obviously like can't show his friends? What's the expectation?
I mean, I don't really care. I guess it depends how bad the breakup is.
No, it's an amicable breakup. You're not mad at each other. You're not going to stay best friends. It's just, hey, this has run its course. It's been real. Thank you so much.
No, it's fine. I mean, just keep him. I wouldn't have sent them to him in the first place if I didn't think that he respected the photos and respected me. So, I mean, he could do whatever he wants as long as he's not, like, putting them on the internet or whatever.
Boom.
But remember we talked about this.
Jesus, Bots.
If you're sending nudes to someone, you always want to make sure they're good enough so that if they ever do end up on the internet, you can be like,
no,
yes,
it's genius. That is genius. They told me when I was teaching special ed for the Fairfax County Public Schools, do not write an email that you wouldn't want to see on the front page of the Washington Post. Yeah. Do not take a selfie that's nude if you wouldn't be proud of it getting onto the gram. Belly, what do you got for? Let's get out of here with some fun.
So you just, I would like to ask you if you could give Pot some tips on applying the lipstick in his videos, because he seems to be having some major issues.
We've noticed that he hasn't realized the power of editing. So what we've noticed is that he has two characters. He's playing both of them. One of them is a female with really ridiculous lipstick and a wig, and one of them is him being a man and just himself. And yet it appears as if he's doing them in backwards order, because when he's the man, I see a hint of pink lipstick.
Right. It's 100% intentional.
Yeah, I think
everything I do.
Yeah, that's definitely I get it. That's definitely part of the joke.
Right. Thank you, Felicity.
So we don't
Everything
get the show.
I do there's a reason behind it, and I've thought about it 100 times. Like yesterday when I was doing my Women's Day post, I was nervous, and I thought about it a lot, because I'm like, there could be a backlash. Like, I don't want my friends to think I'm some, misogynist.
Right.
Like, it was really poking fun at every dipshit that puts a post on one day a year and then goes on their daily lives and doesn't think about it ever again. And that's all it really was. But I mean, everything I think about is premeditated. So thanks, but no thanks.
No, that's great.
Right.
You'll be seeing my lipstick
Felicity,
shadow.
Felicity, you're going to have to deal with this as you do. You guys are going to do a podcast together, right? Can you do a quick 30 seconds on that and what we can expect?
Yeah, when I get my life together.
Me too. Right now, me and Felicity are complete train wrecks right now, and we're trying to get some other things in check before we start it. But I mean, we'd probably be the best subjects of our own podcast right now, so that's good.
So we'll have something for you guys with Felicity and Potts eventually, as soon as Felicity gets her life together and Potts handles his shit. No, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you for your honest and true perspective. Tell us one more time where we can find all your stuff.
My website is thecreative.com.
The Creative with a P, right? A P as in Paul?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Creative
Felicity Jane.
with a P, yep.
Felicity Jane, folks, thank you. She will be on again with us, and we'll be back with you guys next with Chris Parisi from 311's tour. He's got some news for us. We'll talk to him in just a minute. It's Lucdogg in the morning.
At litmradio.com.
Marinate Restaurant puts a unique twist on fast casual dining by starting with only the freshest ingredients to slow cook delicious melodies of taste and colors that are sure to delight your senses. Whether you're craving the Chipotle pulled pork sliders, honey basil chicken tacos, or the infamous kitchen sink wrap, Marinate has something for everybody with tons of vegetarian options too. It's the perfect choice of catering for your offices or events with fast and friendly service from a brand new store on Melrose and Western. Stop by today, or you can order online at marinateyourlife.com.
Yay for Taco Tuesday! Don't forget, buy one, get one free. All damn day!
Tacos, wraps, sliders, and sides. Slow cooked to perfection at Marinate Restaurant. marinateyourlife.com.
What's up, y'all? It's Maddie Mads here. This show is sponsored by TTR Studios. Whether it's weddings, parties, karaoke, audio, video production, and all your entertainment needs, call TTR Studios, LLC at 703-850-2223 or check them out at ttrevents.com. Start the show, Luch.
Lucdogg in the morning.
Welcome back, folks. It is Lucdogg in the morning, hanging out with you guys on YouTube, channel TTR Studios. Thank you for joining us live. We appreciate all of the live listeners. A lot of you texting in. You enjoyed that phone call with Felicity Jane. Remember that she is all over the place on Instagram and Twitter. And, of course, is it Creative.com? Is that what she said, Potts?
TheCreative.com.
We'll make sure I get that right. P as in Paul, TheCreative.com. So Potts and Felicity will be doing a podcast sooner than later. Belly is in studio. He's tired. He was like, dude, oh, man. I said, dude, this is going to be a great show. We've got guests for days over here. And he's like, yeah, that means I've got a lot to do. But he's killing it like a professional because now Chris.
Oh, Belly has to work.
Hey, I didn't get home till like 3 a.m. last night.
And he left his keys in the door, but I do not want to do that yet because Chris Parisi from 311 is with us now. So, Chris, what is up, my friend? Thanks for joining us and taking the time, bud.
What's going on?
How you doing, brother? Where are you right now?
I'm in Las Vegas. We got the big 311 day extravaganza beginning today
March
here in
11th.
Vegas at the Monte Carlo.
If anybody's got their heads up their asses and don't know what he's talking about, March 11th is 311 Day. So what exactly happens? Chris has been traveling as the tour manager for 311 for, God, I don't know, months now. And so what is 311? Have you ever had a 311 Day with them while you're on tour at the same time?
I have. This is the first one that I'll be working with them. I've actually attended. I was looking at the dates. I've attended 4 of them over there. This is the 10th one that they have. They started this almost 20 years ago, and every other year on March 11th they do a destination city, and their fans from all over the world travel, and they participate in things like a fan party on the night before, and they're doing like a art museum of all their posters of over the years and huge merch, and then they're doing 2 nights of shows here at the Monte Carlo in the Park Theater, and each night they'll do a couple hours worth of music, and yeah, it's a pretty big ordeal, and it's pretty cool to be a part of. But yeah, after all these years of attending as a guest or a fan, if you will, I'm working one, and it's pretty exciting. So I'm pretty tired. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. Our team's been here for almost 3 days now, just doing tons and tons and tons of pre-production here in the theater. So, but yeah, all is good.
So you said they do it every other year. What are they doing on the off years? Or is there something else they do?
They do their cruise. So they do a destination cruise. So I think most of them have been out of Florida, either Tampa or South Florida, and they bring in like 10 bands and comedians, and all of their fans from all over the world fly in to be on the cruise, and then they'll do 3 or 4 shows on the cruise over a course of 4 or 5 days. And yeah, so they're definitely very conscious of a yearly big extravaganza that their fans can participate in and feel like they're experiencing. You know, it's like the ultimate 311 experience, if you will.
Chris Parisi on tour with 311 joins us, and I want to know, what is the worst? What have you ever seen a fan that's more of a fangirl than Matty Potts himself about 311? And I mean, like somebody must. You have to have a story going on tour with these guys Like somebody that's just an absolute shit show because of how much, like, it actually bothers you about how much they care about this band.
Well, the fact that you're asking me that question is pretty funny because the answer is yes. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to just kind of hold off on giving too much detail because of certain political, but the answer couldn't be more yes.
Okay.
I mean, you need to realize 311's been around for 28 years. They know fans by name. I mean, they know fans by name. And Chris, you were telling me, I literally just got to go down to see Chris in San Diego and watch 311 at House of Blues. But you were saying to me, what are the fans that are on the front row? I didn't even know there's like a name for them. Chris?
Well, I mean, I don't know that there's necessarily I mean, I call them railers or something.
Railer. Okay. Yeah. I thought that was like the professional term. They're just called railers, and they're like hanging over the front.
Well, doesn't Lady Gaga have like her monsters, her little monsters?
311. 311 fans are called 311 heads. Like just 311 heads, grassroots. Come on, yeah. Anyways, I love 311. Anyway, I want to tell a quick story because like I said, I was just in San Diego and I got to see Chris and 311. And when I got there, I was with my other bestie, Mike, who was his first 311 show, and my little sister, Jessica. And so we went and met Chris at the front of House of Blues. He's like, hey, just stand over to the side real quick. I'm in the middle of something. A big black van pulls up. Nick Hexum, Tim Mahoney hop out, and Chris is obviously escorting them into the venue. And he was like, come, follow me. And so we walked right behind him. We end up on a service elevator with me, Chris, Tim Mahoney, Nick Hexum, and then Yanni, who is their tour manager. And so literally my boy Mike, his first show ever, he gets to meet the band. My little sister, who's been listening to them because of me for over 2 decades, gets to finally meet the band. And then Tim Mahoney asks me how Marinate's going. How surreal is that I'm in an elevator with Tim Mahoney and he goes, hey man, how's Marinate going? Obviously, because Chris has helped us get gigs catering the band a couple times. And I mean, that was a pretty awesome situation for me.
Get it off.
Yeah, so I mean, to kind of put it into perspective, there's people that take it way too far to one extreme, and then there is the people that are here for they want to be first in the venue and up front, and they're collecting. There's a big poster scene in the 311 world where every show has a unique poster from a local artist, well, maybe not local, but from an artist, normally local, and they wait in line for hours on end to get in the venue to be first to get these limited edition posters or to get to the. It's pretty fucking amazing, to be completely honest. Sorry, excuse my language.
No, you're good.
It's pretty amazing to watch it for the most part, because these people are just here for the music and for the vibe and for the unity. You know, 311's all about their unity. But yeah,
a lot of these people, Chris. A lot of these people
that they're a little questionable. But,
well, a lot of them grew up in their childhood listening to 311, and that just brings them back to those days, and there's just such a strong tie to that. I know we got to get you out of here. We're coming up on the end of the show. Is there anything that we can say to the people here that you've got left for us before we let you go?
How many more shows does he have is what I want to know.
Yeah, how many more shows do you have with them?
Well, this is specifically just for 311 days. So we did Orlando, 2 shows in San Diego, and now we have 2 shows in Vegas. There was a couple prep shows for this. So we'll do the 2 shows here in Vegas, and then we all fly home, and then we do a couple one-offs, what they call one-offs, where you just fly into a city and fly out. And then we will start the summer tour in, I'm being told, middle to late July right now is summer tour coming up. That's when I do a couple months at a time.
Well, have fun with them, man. It's been great catching up. Well, you'll call in again, right? I hope so.
Of course. Yeah, no, I wanted to make sure and get a call in while I was here in Vegas. This is a very special thing. So for any of your listeners, if you're not familiar with 311, you should definitely check them out. And if you are, you're very well aware of what 311 Day is. And it's upon us. So,
happy holidays.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Chris Parisi from Tour with 311. Thank you, sir. We'll catch you again next time. We appreciate your time, bud.
All right, y'all. Much love.
There
Later, Chris.
All right, so we are going to get you guys on track again while Belly does all of his production work and gets Potts back on the line. Look, this has been a really fun show today. We knew we had a lot of guests lined up, and it's something that we have been wanting to do more of, is getting more voices on the show. And, of course, getting more females, too, because I think that opens us up to being able to talk about more things. Because when it's just three dudes talking around a table, it just feels like it's a little bit one-sided. So we wanted to kind of start getting some new voices on the air. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you haven't, we're trying some new things. Sometimes you take a swing, sometimes you miss, but I've had a very good time today on this show, so hopefully that means you have too. I still am now with 5 minutes left with the people, and nobody knows where my car is.
Do you still not know? I mean, you haven't called the tow?
Here's the quick story. I literally go to bring Amanda back to the airport last night, and we walk out to my car, and my car is gone. So it's 2 minutes until the clubhouse of our apartment complex closes. And so I said, I got to run and fly and catch them because there's no signs anywhere if your car is towed. But it looks like apparently maybe I towed in a reserved spot. If you buy a reserved spot for $50 a month, you can reserve an extra spot, and then nobody can park in it, and you can go ahead and just have it towed.
Is there
it says reserved on the curb of the spot, but the way that the light was hitting it, I mean, I even said it to Amanda, oh, wow, we're really lucky that this isn't a reserved spot, and I parked there because the way the light was hitting it at nighttime, I saw it again last night. It's easy to miss. And so apparently I parked in a reserved spot, and this bitch of a woman literally came home at about 10 o'clock at night and just straight up called the towing company, had me towed $210. And my question to you is, who are you more mad at? The girl who had the audacity. I mean, I get it. She paid her stupid $50 a month.
And getting home at 10 o'clock, there's no parking spots out
She
front.
would have had to walk 50 feet instead of the 4 feet in front of her stupid fucking building. Now, are you mad more at her? Are you more mad at her or the tow truck people in general? Belly?
I hate tow truck drivers and everything that tow truck companies stand for unless they are assisting on the side of the road. Every other time, if you are paid professionally to steal someone's car legally,
go shove.
Go shove.
Totes go shove.
So who are you more mad at, Potts?
I'm mad at the lady without a doubt.
Thank you.
She could, what I would have done is found a space, and I would have either put a giant bumper sticker on the hood of your car, or I would have just left a note on your windshield and said, if you do this again, I'm going to tow you.
That's the problem because I clearly have a sticker that I'm a resident. Like, I have a parking pass. I'm not just some Joe Schmo, and I have all my DJ gear in there. You just tow me. What if I have a gig today? And so then I had to go and figure it out at 5:58. And I go in there, and they close at 6, and there's no towing signs anywhere, and they're not in the office. It's just some Hispanic guy who's like a contractor who's closing up the shop, and he's like, no one's here. No one's here. You need to leave. You need to leave. And I'm like, all right, well, I shouldn't have to pay the overnight fee. Go figure.
I totally agree. I have so many, there should be a sign posted. I don't think
Potts, it is, and it is. I went out and found it this morning when I went down to complain. It is posted. And it's where you turn into our complex. It's not even in our complex. There's
way at the end
there's
of
like
the road.
4 different things that are. It's like our complex, an old folks home, a kinder care company, and like a daycare. And it's like in front of all 4 of them. And I was like, that's not fair. That's not fair. I walked this whole complex.
Fair is a terrible term. I don't like it. It's ridiculous and very wrong.
It's semantics, and I said, well, if you guys want to talk,
on the ladies' door.
Well, I said if you guys want to talk semantics, then you weren't here at 5:58, and I shouldn't have to pay the overnight fee.
I would want to deal with this lady.
Guess what happened? They called. They felt terrible. They called over to the tow truck company, and they said, "You will give this boy half off. You're not charging him his overnight fee."
Good, cool.
He will have one night. This was on us. How about that?
How about that?
How about that? Fantastic. I mean, I just wanted to point out that every now and then, when you do complain about something and you're not a dick about it, you might actually get what you want. Because I was like, look, I'm not yelling at you guys. This isn't right.
Right.
And they ended up paying for it. How about that? I'm so pumped. Belly, that was a little harsh on him. Belly gets mad when I steal the music from him. I think he's a little frustrated.
I'm very frustrated right now.
Here, go ahead.
Let the guy do his damn job, Luke.
Take it.
I was ready.
I know you were.
I was ready. You're not even playing the right outro song.
No, take it away. Hold on. I'm a timing freak. So get ready to play it again. I'm a timing freak. So what I want to do is I always want to end a segment with the perfect timing, just like that. You see that?
Hit the post. Hit the post. Hit the post.
Potts, that's a touchdown for yourself. Give it. Way to end strong. It's been a fun day.
Now I'm going to steal something from you. Potts, anything left for the people?
Hey, that's all I got, Belly. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great day, and you can kindly go fuck yourselves.
There he goes. Matty Potts from the Santa Monica newsroom. Belly with a strong ending as well. What do you got left, bud? That was awesome.
All I got is, and I forgot to do it the other day, Radford's in the tournament. Go Radford all the way, baby.
Good luck to what is Radford?
They're going to be a 16 seed.
No. What's their mascot?
The Highlander.
Highlanders. Go Highlanders. Good luck, everybody. Have fun with March Madness. We'll see you guys next week. It is Lucdogg in the morning.
At litmradio.com.